I'd have to say what I really enjoy about Happy State Bank is the morale that we have. Part of that goes back to the ownership that we talked about. Everybody understands as an owner, we're going to think like owners and not like managers, and we truly have each other's back each and every day. So that just the teamwork, everyone works so hard for each other, knowing that the ultimate goal is that each one of our customers is going to leave this bank knowing that we have given them everything we have as bankers to exceed any expectations they had out of our bank.
Well, should we call this meeting to order?
You have that authority.
Okay, so let's do it then.
Okay. Exercise.
Okay, well, we have an extensive agenda today. Probably take 5 minutes for the meeting. So, first and last item of business is the consent agenda. Mr. City Manager, would you take us through the consent agenda?
Yes, sir. I'll do my best to muddle my way through that.
Okay.
I did sneak out at the end of last week. Ms. Kelly and Mr. Frigo have put together a phenomenal agenda for us.
Well, this was all Vicki. I take no credit.
Well, I give Vicki all the credit. I may just not
Come back.
just not come back. I'll leave her every Thursday night and go to the mountains again.
And I do know that from now on, I will send a meeting if it's only one sentence that says work session starts at 2.
Yeah.
We've had some discussions.
I read the agenda.
I didn't say one.
Oh, you
Ms.
probably
Assistant
got
City
told this
Manager.
morning.
That is
Right here,
not
though,
true.
and I did that yesterday.
You did not. I read it. It's at 2
You didn't
o'clock.
take them to raise.
I actually have it on my calendar at 2 o'clock. It's proof. Who is it? See? 2 o'clock.
I didn't pay attention to that. I will point out that you raised me and this is all you got.
Okay.
All right, let's move on.
Mayor, item A, sanitary sewer main replacement. This is replacing an old one that's deteriorating. 17th to 18th on North Lipscomb and North Bonham Streets. Part of this continuing ongoing replacement, as we all know. Fortunately, Amarillo is a growing city. It's also at the same time an aging city. You'll continue to see this, and hopefully over the years even a little accelerated on some of these programs.
Tell me what I didn't understand about the disparity on the numbers on Roberts. Maybe I missed it.
Roberts ditching did not properly complete their bid one.
Looks like they didn't.
And when
It
they
looks
do
like
that-
they completed it about 40 times.
Well, if you'll look at the
The
last,
amount of money.
if you'll look at the last item, their trench safety system, they bid $15,000 a foot. They likely meant $15 a foot.
Oh.
Oh.
But it sure was a healthy sum above the other.
That's some pretty phenomenal trench safety. And we're all for safety, but you can see what your other contractors are able to do.
Well, actually, if you take that off of there, there's quite a disparity on those bids. I mean, 348 and 192 guys.
Oh, yeah, between Lewis.
Yeah.
This is a small job for Ray Lewis Construction. And occasionally when they're in town, and not just them, but some of the other really large ones, they'll try to pick up any work they can pick up. Wow. We run into scale problems, just this time going the wrong way.
Okay. The other one's doing it for
Yeah, the phenomenal outfit, but geared towards
Big jobs.
big stuff. On sidewalk repairs, we're pretty pleased to bring this to you. This is over here immediately south of the old Potter County Courthouse, diagonal from the courts building. Y'all will recall, I'm sorry?
The old jury room.
Yeah, it's been the jury room, it was a tax office, juvenile probation. It now belongs to a couple of attorneys. Many years ago, when the city did the ADA audit with the Department of Justice, one of the results of that was we undertook a very extensive curb ramp upgrade program. That was one of the last properties that was done. In the process of opening the curb corners there, they discovered there wasn't anything underneath them. There's a piece of an old basement down there. Been walled off from the basement of the building. We went through a very lengthy process of determining whose basement is it, whose responsibility is it, long story short, we ended up basically having to take that piece of the basement. Would have been fun enough then, but when they went into that piece of that basement to start doing the corings, they cored through what would be the east wall of that basement out towards the street, and the core went right through into another basement. So there's another basement actually under Fillmore out there that ties to that basement. That stopped us for a period of time because we're going to pretend that's Textile's basement. It's under one of their grocery streets.
Yeah.
So we went through the process of figuring out structurally, can we come in and backfill this piece of this walled off basement, bring it up, put in the curb, put in the trees, the planters, put that in place with the design standards. And that's where we are today. Came in a little bit under budget. It will be a huge improvement to that. Of course, today that's barricaded off.
So is the other side of the street.
And with the work that's going on at the courthouse, that side's barricaded off. So we're ready to get that done.
Was it full of water?
Not really.
Is this, and the structure strong enough for those 18-wheelers to roll over all the time?
For the one under Fillmore?
Yes. Wow.
It has several feet of cover over the top of it.
Do you know there's not a further basement past it, or have you gotten that far yet?
Well, they busted, when the cores went through, they actually busted a hole in the wall big enough to go in with cameras. And they cambered it and stopped and got with TxDOT. And TxDOT came, I don't know if they put a hole in the street to come down and check it or.
I'm pretty sure that's the input. If they're core again, they're not going to.
Well, and truly, I think that we will see more and more and more of this downtown redevelopment. Some of it will be basements. Some of them we know where they are and we know that they belong to the building that they're hooked to. As an example, the Santa Fe building has two basements under it, one of which ends at the sidewalk, the second of which actually goes out through the first lane of traffic.
And there's a lot of that.
There is a lot of that on the bigger older buildings.
They used to deliver retail stuff from the basement lift. They used to come out and say.
Well, in Santa Fe, the biggest, all the boilers were at the very bottom, and there were big open chutes that they brought the coal in. And the boilers are still down there. They're part of the historic piece of the building. They're not being used anymore. But those boilers are probably as big as a good-sized pickup. There's no way to take them out. They opened the basement port and set those in when they were building the building. Those are not hard to work with because you know where they are and to whom they belong, and you have a high degree of certainty of the structure and the safety. The other thing that you find throughout downtown are old tunnels that were put in place to allow access back and forth across some of the streets. We've worked one of those just not too distant past, but maybe an easy. It was a tunnel that no one remembered was there until they were doing a landscaping project and actually uncovered the entrance to it.
Well, here again, there's a huge discrepancy in the two bids. You got, on that 2-inch drill deal, $2,500 versus $187,000. What is going on?
Again, I would think they did a lump sum rather than a per unit. And I'm not familiar with bio-landscape and maintenance. I'm not aware that they've done a project for us.
This is, I think, the first big we have ever done.
Yeah.
Almost 3 times.
They've got a name that makes you suspect.
Oh, come on.
I'll vote for that.
They do septic.
All right, that's
They're going to fill it with biohazards.
No, please, no.
Can we use some kind of technology to see where all basements and tunnels are in the city? And
They use tall letters most of the time.
Why did we put it on this side?
well, yes,
The
there's one
footings-
under.
Well, that's not, I mean, he remembers footings where buildings used to be bigger than they are today because they used part of the sidewalk and part of the street.
I think
Well, that's why that corner of the Amarillo National Parking lot's built up. There's a building under there.
That's great.
And the tunnel going over to the drive-ups
That's
that
the
are
one
behind
we
the
just got
first
done
That
working.
caved in a few years ago.
What's under those basements?
There's technology to allow you to
Liquor.
see underground. But
The speakeasies, that's what it is.
the speakeasy, I would not be aware of that. There is technology to allow you to see down there. It's just so expensive
Yeah.
to get it up here that oftentimes you can pop a piece in a sidewalk or something and get in and take a look at it.
Huh.
Okay.
We own the tunnel, the one that comes out of the former atmosphere, the large tunnel that comes out of that building.
Used to be part of the First National Bank.
And it's a big piece of drain pipe. What it's made of. And from inside, you can tell that's what it is. Okay. We're done with subterranean features of downtown Amarillo. That'd be a nice title of a book. Some housing and urban development money. This is to pay a piece of the salary and the fringe benefits of our family self-sufficiency coordinator, person tasked with working with your Section 8 beneficiaries. Item D, the next one-year agreement with Downtown Amarillo, Inc. DAI, over the course of its very brief history, has accomplished a phenomenal amount of work. Melissa back here sleeps at least 4 hours a day. We think she does it from 8 a.m. to noon and then works through the night. Nonetheless, just can't speak highly enough, not only of her, but of that board. I think y'all are well aware of their efforts over the course of the last year, where we ended up on August the 23rd with the resolution authorizing us to start moving forward with those downtown projects. The contract that we have this year does have a little additional funding in it. I'm comfortable. I think staff's comfortable with the work plan as presented and the efforts that they will undertake. Not only the stuff they have been doing, but some additional efforts that they'll undertake on our behalf for the next year. Melissa, do you have anything you'd like to say, or Commission, any questions that you have?
A lot of it is improved communication, correct?
Yeah, most of the increase last year, it was also in our contract to do communications and outreach, as is this year's contract. We didn't have any funds to do that, and so we dipped into our reserve. So this year we added a budget line item for that.
And the signage is going to be really important as well.
We do have, did increase also our planning line item some. We'll be asking for some additional funds from tiers to do the 3 studies that you see in the contract.
When do you make that presentation?
Thursday.
This Thursday?
I've seen those 3 studies. Or if I see it.
It's
They were
in our,
in the proposed budget. They were in the proposed budget.
Yeah.
We did in the budget review, and they're in the contract.
Anything else? Anybody else? Appreciate what you're doing.
Thank you.
A lot of work,
Yes,
a lot of help, a lot of volunteers, a lot of hours.
Mayor, the next item, item E, is a portable infrared spectrometer. This is used by the hazmat team. This is one of those tools that you get and you hope you don't ever have to use, and if you do have to use it, you hope you know what it's going to say before you ever do. Nonetheless, when they find an unknown product or item, this is the way the hazmat team in those big blue suits that we looked at can access whatever that product is and begin to get a read on it to know what it is and how to properly handle it when we get to that point. We pay for this and then we are reimbursed through one of our Homeland Security grants.
Do they put a sample of the item in this, or how does it
We have one today. In fact, I think we have 2 of them. I can't pretend to know how it works. There's something inside of it that is a consumable. As it works, it wears itself out, and then you have to keep those units replaced. Kind of like we have extensive personal protective items like masks. We're in a lot of first responder vehicles, and those time out whether you've ever taken them out of the package. Probably a year ago, I think, when we began to replace some of the stockpile of meds. That we keep. Thankfully, we've never used them, but nonetheless, they.
What's curious to me, I used to use a machine like this in a lab. But what's curious to me is when you're out and you find that there's been some kind of contamination, there's so many different forms. It can be gas, liquid. It seems to me that the hard part about this would be knowing how to process the specimens so you feed it to the machine.
And I don't know that it'll do gases.
It won't do gas.
I don't think that it does. You know, when we have a potential event that involves a gaseous form or even smoke, is when you do, as in the train deal, you begin to move into trying to do your access control and move people out of ways. You can stop it.
Did they use something similar to this or one of our existing machines when you had the problem down the train yard?
No, because before one of those could have been employed, and first off, it was mainly smoke, that there was no product that they could get to due to the fires that they could test. And that chemical, the isopentane that went up, just basically went into the fireballs as opposed to the air.
And you could tell what those were from the railroad.
And then the railroad begins to access their records so that they know and can tell you those cars. Of course, the placards were gone, but they can access the placard information, and everybody has one of those little spiral books, and it'll begin to walk you through the process of what you do. I learned from that deal they watch the color of the smoke, and that gives you a kind of a non-scientific head start as to what's already burning. The only one that runs is the bomb squad. And if they pass you running away, you need to hurry. You seen that T-shirt? I'm a bomb tech. If you see me running, keep up. We don't have that on the
But you know, there's another part of the story. We have a lawyer that works for the police department who has a chemistry degree. And he taught chemistry for years and years and years. And as we began to discover what were in those cars, he began to be able to expound to us about what we could expect in terms of reactions with water. And it was like,
he's a lawyer and works for the police.
He was a great resource, wasn't he?
He was. His name is Brian McWilliams, and Brian is our public safety legal advisor. So he is the attorney in Marcus and Courtney's office. It's detailed on a daily basis to work with police, fire, animal control, emergency management. Those groups, and he was on deck that Friday morning as we begin the not so fun events.
And as we would pull the chemicals up, and they would start to review what they were going to do if they got too hot or exposed to water, people would look at it and say, "Oh yeah, just what he said a few minutes ago."
They don't want to do it.
Everybody had their guidebooks. You know, you flip through it, and Brian's already pretty much laid it out for you.
Oh,
He wrote the guidebook.
That's
Not
great.
right, not this Brian.
Yeah, no, this one could not remember any of his.
Chemical. You were going to stake your life on it anyway, or somebody else.
And as he would say these things, I would say, "Oh yeah, I forgot that."
Oh, yeah, I forgot.
You forgot that.
Not true. This Brian did a wonderful job the whole time, muttering under his breath, "Where is that mayor?"
Tell me I couldn't leave town.
This happened last time.
That's right. All I need to do is leave town and something's got to happen.
That's right.
Only last time Brian was saying, "Your mate, no, your mate, no, your
No,
mate."
we're like accurate.
Well, that was really it was a horrible event, but very fortunate the way that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
turned out well.
Learning new friends too.
You know, you're testing something that we've studied and worked on tabletops, but never, fortunately, never had experience with it. And hopefully, don't ever do it again. But I think with the increase in rail traffic through Amarillo, being ready for one of those deals is.
You don't realize how much train traffic goes through here till you're sitting off the bridge. Tons of cars.
Yeah, if you ever slow down on the I-40 bridge and look both ways, north and south, you realize how far the sidings stack up where they make those trains before they send them out. It's pretty amazing.
Okay.
Okay,
Christmas tree.
to a totally different topic. Moving from potential hazardous material events to a new Christmas tree. Goes out here in 26, and there's the one that we have, the one that we're all used to seeing. You're all well aware of his telephone pole.
It's pretty.
Rest of us.
Be slim.
Is it aluminum? It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad.
It's had its day.
You know, that was probably reasonably high-tech the year that it was put in.
I don't think so.
Wire is wire, right?
It's not as old as electricity is. To my knowledge, it's always been electrically lit.
Don't say it. Don't say anything.
I was gonna ask.
I knew it was coming. Something was.
Well, we're moving into Moving into the 21st century, requesting permission to move into the 21st century. 40-foot tree, picture of that in the back. Very pleased that, number one, it's almost 20% less than what we budgeted for it. And this is going to be paid 1/3 by Center City of Amarillo, and 1/3 by the Civic Center through Civic Amarillo, and 1/3 through your Parks and Rec CIP budget. And Vicki, it's an LED tree, isn't it?
Yes.
It's lights on
Yes, all the
LED.
lights are LED.
So it's green in more ways than
Even
one.
have the green tree.
What do they do with it?
Where do you
The
put
other
that
11
40-foot
months,
tree?
yeah.
Out at sea?
This thing comes apart. They
Like
can
Dr.
stack it
Home
up.
Christmas?
Good, good.
Not mine gets full.
You know, like a star.
We'll
Yeah,
see.
but it
I'm
actually
thinking the
looks like a
service
tree.
center, not the attic.
How
Mayor,
long
I would love to drag out further discussions of the Christmas tree. I just don't know what else at this point to.
How long should it last, you think? Like,
Depends on the weather.
The other one's 111, so if we can get half of it.
Oh, my.
I'm sorry, Ellen, I really don't know.
5 years.
Sure,
So we're
surely it would be
spending 40.
15 to 20 years.
Yeah.
Our part is 40.
Yeah.
No, that's
That's
the
the whole thing?
the whole thing.
Well, what's that number?
Oh, no, you're
175?
correct.
We are, that's what we are right
Yeah,
now.
that's the thirds.
Man, that's a big tree, $100,000 tree.
It better be
But
10.
it's pretty nice.
No, it's a $40,000 total split three-way.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Well, what's that deal with?
The others are alternates, I'm sorry. Line 2 and line 3, those are alternates for buying either a 36-foot or a 38-foot tree.
Okay.
So
So
we're
we-
suggesting we buy the 40.
Parks and Rec only has a third of it.
Right.
So if you buy all three, it'd be 175.
Yes.
I got it.
Yes. And prior to this, I don't know that I would have ever guessed there were 3 companies in the world that would sell you a 40-foot tall Christmas tree. We never less that one. And you
How
can
long
see
will
that
those
picture is
last?
obviously taken here in Amarillo.
Oh, yeah.
How long will that thing last?
Why'd you ask that?
Excuse me.
And I said it probably
But you
depends
had
on
lots
the
of
weather.
things, Ellen.
Yeah, you hardly ever listen.
There, I don't know how long it will last. I would presume 15 to 20 years pretty easily.
Oh, my. By that time, we'd have a laser show.
It'll be solar powered the next time we come back.
Okay, that does it.
Mayor, that finishes the agenda. We've got just a few brief closed session items if you would so choose to do that.